God, look out the window!
It's Godzilla!
What's he doing?
I don't know.
Listen up, Rangers! Welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve.
And my name's Arnes.
And today we're going over the film Godzilla vs. Monster Zero. Or some of you may know as Invasion of the Astro-Monster.
Now, where did they get that title from?
Just they like to make random names for these films for reasons. I also think it was double billed with when it originally came out, War of the Gargantuas. Which I actually have that movie and I have to actually watch it. It's been a while. But
I can still remember just the way it is.
Sure. But if you guys haven't seen this film, it's essentially a continuation on Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, or Ghidorah, the proper way of saying it.
No.
I know they call him Ghidorah.
It's Ghidorah.
But in the dubbed. But anyways, essentially what happens is these two astronauts, Glenn and Fuji, they find out that there's a Planet X.
Which you're skipping the most important part of this movie, Steve. It is the first American actor in this movie that has a main role.
Yeah, he wasn't just added in.
Oh, hey, and wait, what year was this movie made in, Steve?
65, I believe.
And what is
I know it says 70 on your phone, but I'm pretty sure it's wrong.
No, Hulu says 72, sir.
Yeah.
1970s. So this movie was made in 1970s.
But anyways, they find out there's a Planet X. They go to Planet X. There's aliens there. These aliens want our help because they're being attacked by Ghidorah. So what they want to do is devise a plan to take Godzilla and Rodan to Planet X in order to fight him. And then you can imagine stuff doesn't go the way they want it to.
That was actually a pretty good explanation, except it's not aliens, it's robots.
They're aliens. I think they're called Xians. I think is the official term for them. Oh. Planet X dudes. Which I gotta say, for starters, they are my favorite aliens ever. In terms of humanoid aliens and being from Godzilla movies. It's my favorite aliens ever. Aliens. The xenomorphs. But the Xians are awesome. I just love their overall design scheme. Where they have the weird little eye visor from Star Trek. And, the little antennas on their heads and their silver black outfit. I remember watching this movie, I was like, you can tell they're not from this place. They're not from planet Earth. And it's just they're definitely the aliens that I've just really grown accustomed to and loving. But it's probably because for this movie, I actually really love this movie. It's probably my favorite Showa.
I like their saucer ships.
Overall.
They're amazing.
Saucer ships are cool too. But for starters, for the plot, I actually really love this film overall because it's the first introduction, because in Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, we got introduced into the more alien themes with Ghidorah coming from space, the Martian taking over the princess, and those themes kind of got implied. Well, in this one, it's full-blown alien invasion, which is something that's different for the Godzilla series as of right now. I also like how the plan was executed overall in the course of this film, where they go to Planet X, the Xians want Godzilla and Rodan, Monster Zero 1, Monster Zero 2, and the Earth people are like, you're going to give us a miracle cure if we give you our two most powerful monsters? We feel like we're winning. So,
man, did they get a surprise though?
Yeah, so they get taken to Planet X, Godzilla and Rodan, and they have probably what I would say is one of the funnest fights ever we've gotten in these movies so far.
Oh god, the dance.
Which there's the dance, the infamous Godzilla dance, which I found out at G-Fest was actually a something that was very popular in the 60s, is what that dance is supposed to be from. I forget officially what it was from, but it's actually something a part of Japanese culture, which is why it's kind of hard to understand when he's doing the yeah kind of dance.
I never heard of that, to be honest.
Yeah, it was something I got introduced to it at G-Fest because I was watching one of the Kaiju casts.
G-Fest is educational, people.
Yes, G-Fest is awesome and you guys need to go in July. I don't know the dates for the new one coming up, but
next year.
It's in July next year. It's awesome. But it's one of the first times you actually get full-blown contact fighting in these movies. You get some scuffles here and there, but Godzilla pretty much spears Ghidorah in the beginning into the fight. Where he's just just shows up, he's God, just spears him. Just waiting for him to get jackhammered.
Sadly, there's only one. Is it one rock scene in there?
He throws some rocks still. But there's actually a lot of physical contact in a lot of these fights, which is really awesome, especially in his introduction. But sadly, the fights don't last that long in this. They're fairly brief for the most part. If that, not even.
I thought the final one
The final one's a little bit longer, but it's like right at the end of the film.
Yeah. It's like 5 minutes long where Godzilla kicks a rock at Ghidorah
Yeah.
to wake him up. He's like, hey, you sleeping? Wake up.
I don't like you. I also love like the facial expressions of the monsters in this movie too. Because you get like the dancing scene. Like when Godzilla gets blasted in the one part, he's like, oh god.
Oh yeah. When one of the final fighting scene is when Ghidorah does like this whole beam and hits Godzilla in his stomach. He's like, ah. And the next scene is like he shoots him in the foot. He's like, ah.
Yeah, where he gets shot in the hands. He's looking at his hands and stuff. And there was like the part where like they finally lose the mind control over Godzilla, and he's looking around like, what the hell? Where am I? What kind of trip have I been on? Rodan doesn't have quite the same facial expressions, but you can kind of tell it's not quite as he isn't quite as good as in Ghidorah.
Is he in other movies?
He does show up, not as much as some of the other monsters. Like Mothra is a little bit more frequent in these films.
Because you can see in this movie they're trying to wean him out slow.
He shows back up next in Destroy All Monsters.
So what's that, like 5-6 movies?
Let's see. We got Sea Monster, Son of Godzilla, Revenge, and then Destroy All Monsters.
Yeah, so yeah. They wean him out. Sadly, he's one of my favorites.
Yeah, and then he doesn't show up for a while after that. Which is kind of depressing. But he did get his own film, so...
He got his own film?
Yeah, it's called Rodan. It's really good, actually.
Why are we watching this?
Probably should.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comment section below when you guys would like us to review Rodan. I have that movie, too.
I didn't know this. I didn't know this.
Yeah.
New to me.
It's actually a really interesting movie. But... for the rest of the plot, I actually really like the alien plot for the most part, where they come to like
human plot part.
Yeah, where like they go there, they get like the humans, of course, get betrayed. The aliens aren't what they appear to be. And they already you find out they're already stationed on Earth, and they want to take it over, but they're gonna give the Earthlings time to surrender, and like there's that whole plot there. And then they find like their only weakness, they went and bought it. Makes sense.
Well, they didn't buy it because they never paid a guy.
Yeah,
so
it was like they put the patent. They pretty much stole it because they're not good people.
Because if that's one of the loopholes in the movie is they just paid a guy. Nobody would ever known about this, and it's like they would have won.
Yeah, they could have just took the one out of his coat, you know.
Yeah,
but it might have saved some hassle. Yeah. But they never actually checked the persons for materials on him.
Because he's like, oh man, look, I got this. Click. Ah.
Yeah. Oh, that's the best thing too, because it reminds me of like even though this movie came out way before, but Signs. The aliens and Signs go to Earth, and their weakness is water, which is like what 75% of Earth.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like a good idea.
Who comes up with these ideas?
And then like the Xians, certain sound waves or certain like frequencies really irritate them and hurt them, and it doesn't seem like it's that hard to figure out. It seems like a big little gap in that whole logic, especially with the computer like being super intelligent and be able to figure probabilities and stuff. And I love like too like at the spaceship where the guy's like, hey, what's the computer saying? How are we doing? The lines are moving fast. We're okay. It's just like it's I think it could be a little more technical, but sure, buddy.
It's the little things like that made his movie really good.
Yeah, it's just like the acting too overall is actually one of the first Godzilla films where I actually would say the acting is legitimately good. Because it's like it's kind of I don't want to say campy, like some of the acting seems like a little bit over the top, but it's over to the top in a good way. Like it helps to keep your interest throughout the movie, and also it just helps to make these characters very unique in between. Because like Glenn's like the super cocky dude.
Glenn's amazing.
Glenn is the man. I love how he's like, "It's okay, baby. When I get back, I'll marry you," and just leaves. Everything will be okay because I winked at you. And you know, like he does that like randomly when she's about to die, and he's just like, "You put that in my pocket, sweet. I seen that. How you doing?
I love you, baby."
Yeah, and he just like beats the tar. Like one actually, I felt bad for you. Got the crap kicked out because he's like he missed the first time. He's just like fucking nailing him in the face. Oh, it was pretty awesome.
It is actually like the really good thing, like to put him as a first American actor, where he just wasn't like, what was that movie where they just like
with Steve Martin, where he's kind of. In the American, he's kind of interjected into the movie to make the movie relatable. Well, this movie, they just put him in just because the guy's an awesome actor.
Choice, man. This guy was amazing
he was
actor.
Phenomenal in this. Everybody else was pretty awesome, too.
Oh, no, he's the one who kept them all up there. They were like, oh, man, we got to step up to his level now. Yeah. And it was like, bam.
Because the only other one, I would say the acting was really good is if you watch the the Japanese version of the original Godzilla film is really good as well. The rest are like good in their own merits, but it's just like this one was just like, because it's hard to tell the acting when you can't hear their actual voices. It's hard to like distinguish the dialogue and see if they're actually doing well.
Probably one of the reasons.
Well, this one, everything still kind of showed really well.
That's probably one of the reasons is why I didn't, because I never watched the Japanese versions of them.
Yeah, which we might come back to eventually, but the Japanese, there isn't usually like drastic differences, unlike the original Godzilla movie. Where this one was just more like the Japanese version of the dialogue isn't quite as campy. Like, it makes more sense for the scenes a little bit more than the English, but I still love the English overall too.
So far, I like this one better.
Then moving on to the suits. Overall, they're suitable.
You can see a little damage on him.
Yeah, you can definitely tell like some of them use a little bit more, like Godzilla, which I noticed the head sculpt is because a lot of these movies I don't actually know, especially with the older ones, when they start like interjecting new parts of the suits. Because I know the 64 like the lower suits used a lot, but they use like different heads for the part.
Yeah, you can tell. It's definitely like when he wakes up from that being controlled and like his eyes movement.
Yeah,
you can tell.
Because I know like this same head and stuff is the one from Sea-Monster too. Like the one will be in the next one. But you can definitely tell, like, with the suit and stuff, that it's definitely getting a little bit worn. Like, definitely, like, the wrinkles on his, like, arms and stuff for some of the areas are a little bit more flatter than others. But it still looks really good. It kind of gives him more of, like, a battle-worn kind of appearance, where he's got, like, all these scars. He's got stories to tell.
Yeah, we'll put it that way to justify it.
Sweet. Rodan looks pretty good as well, overall. Except for there's one scene where he's, like, flapping at the tanks, and then you could tell like it's just like some dude's like standing back with a string like lifting him up and down because he's just kind of like,
oh god, I know which scene you're talking about. I watched that.
It's just like there's like you see the hurricane winds, he's like, and it's one of the only times I was like might have been done a little bit better.
It's one of the scenes that you talk about is when the tanks were shooting them in their face.
Yeah, and
yeah.
Oh, there's the one where like Godzilla got shot, literally like explodes.
He just like shot in the face. He's like, what happened?
That hurt. What'd you put inside the thing?
Oh god! And those missiles just kept coming out. They shot like 60 missiles at Godzilla, at least 30 at Rodan.
Yeah, there's like a fire.
Ghidorah.
You just call him Ghidorah. It's fine.
Ghidorah.
I'll allow it.
Ghidorah. Just like for like 5 minutes, just saying missiles kept coming at him.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I kind of wish Ghidorah showed a little bit more in this movie though.
Yeah, they kept him out.
He's kind of like he's just like here sporadically, like especially like when we get towards the end of the fight, he just kind of shows up for the most part. Like you see one scene with him flying and doing a little bit of mayhem, but he just they all kind of come together for a reason.
Yeah, but there's a part where Rodan picks up Godzilla and throws him into Ghidorah.
Oh yeah, with the fight scene. Yeah, like I said, there's just like a little bit more physical contact than we got with the others. Like Godzilla's actually like punching. He's like floating like a butterfly, stinging like a bee, like doing a little bit of the dancing and everything. Like, the fight actually is really entertaining to watch. Because it's like, this is where we're going to start getting to. The fights are a little bit more entertaining, but also a little bit goofier.
But I like the goofier part, though.
I do actually enjoy Godzilla actually fighting more like a wrestler. Like something you see on WWE, than like
kicking
like
rocks,
scratching, and just
rocks.
throwing rocks and stuff, and just beams.
Fire extinguisher.
Beams.
This is another thing about this
breath.
movie. It's an actual beam that he uses.
Yeah, I also like how he's like, bobbing and weaving, punching, randomly shoots atomic blast, keeps going. The only thing, like, I don't want to spoil the ending if you guys haven't seen it, which would be weird. It's a really old movie.
Yeah.
But it's one of those movies where it has, like, your typical Godzilla ending, which I'll just spoil it for you guys right now anyways, is that at the end of the film, after they have their climatic fight with Ghidorah, Godzilla knocks Ghidorah into the water, and Rodan's in there as well. They, like, do, like, the tumble down the cliff, land in the water. Kind of like the same vein that we got King Kong versus Godzilla. Then Ghidorah comes out of the water, flies away, and you don't officially know what happened with Godzilla and Rodan, but they're like, they're okay. They gotta be okay. And then they just end the movie.
Which is the same flying scene from the last movie where he just...
He's just like flying away.
Yeah, it's the same scene.
Why has Ghidorah always gotta run like a bitch? Huh? Supposed to be Godzilla's arch nemesis. I always see him, seems like he's running away every time they fight.
Yeah, it's like Godzilla spears him, throws him in the lake, and he's like, oh man, I gotta run. See you later, guys.
See you guys. Oh man, me just spraying random beams around isn't doing anything? Crazy.
Which actually the beams in this one were pretty good.
Yeah, well, pretty much like a lot of the effects were actually still really nice in this.
So I wish Rodan was more involved in this movie.
Yeah, like he's probably like the worst out of the three in terms of just overall like practical effects they were using with him, like with
the tail, and then he like picks up like that. He picks up his tail, Ghidorah's tail, and
yeah, he's like biting onto it.
It's like he's not doing actually anything.
Yeah, it's like for the most part, it wasn't quite as good as like Ghidorah. Like he had a little bit more of a role in that one.
Yeah,
this one he's just kind of there. Like he does a few things,
Kinda
but
sad.
Godzilla. It's mainly Godzilla and Ghidorah that steal the show for the fights, anyways.
So I like him. Last movie, he's amazing. He had all those face expressions and everything.
Yeah, this one, they like. I just don't feel like they used them quite as much as they probably could have.
But hey, still, good movie.
Yeah, for the props, really actually like like I love just the use of all these practical effects. Like the spaceship, the actual model looks sweet. They
That's
blow
the
it up.
One thing about this movie that was better than anything is every single thing was a prop.
Yeah, just like when they crash through the buildings, all props. Suits, all props. The background, it's a prop.
Oh God, please don't talk about the background.
I know the painting bothers you a little bit, but
A little bit. Oh man,
for their backdrop.
it's like the
Like
mountain.
it's just like, man, that cloud hasn't moved for a while now. Oh,
It's like there's like a part is like the mountain, Fuji Mountain. I'm gonna say.
Mount Fuji.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's
maybe.
like they're fighting, and the ship is standing there, and like the cloud's like halfway painting the ship, and it's just standing there. It's like, is this okay? Is this acceptable?
Is this how this works?
Yeah.
But like the ships were done really cool. I actually like a lot of the stuff hides pretty well. Like there's like when they're on Planet X and like where like the spaceships are like coming in after like Ghidorah is supposed to be showing up, and like the door comes down. You see him kind of coming in. It looks pretty real for the most part. Like it's kind of goofy looking for the most part, like the spirals and the colors and stuff. But like you don't see there's like the track that they're running on or anything. Like it looks good overall. Also like when the spaceship starts shooting at like the radio towers and stuff, and they just melt.
I forgot.
Doesn't explode or anything. They just heat it up and just kind of like wilters away like the thing's made out of wax. Which I heard might be how they did it. Like that's how they do some of the stuff.
I thought it looked like plastic melting, but
Yeah, like just put like a plastic radio tower, and then they just heat it up with fans and whatnot. Which again, it's like something they could have done.
like the beam hits it, and like 5 seconds later starts melting. I'm like, that's a special beam cannon right there, sir.
Fire. So in the end, I actually love this Godzilla movie. Because it's one of the first ones where it's like, we get our aliens, which I love aliens. We get 3 monsters. Not quite 4 like we got in the last one, but the plot is a little bit more cohesive and better in this one than we got with Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster.
Plot is definitely a lot better.
Like, I enjoy the plot in Ghidorah Three-Headed Monsters, just this one just seems like it's done a little bit better. Like, I actually really enjoy a lot of the characters in this film.
I just wish they used more of like the facial expressions and, you know.
Yeah, like with the monster stuff. Like, for the human characters, like, everybody's awesome.
I do enjoy that they keep using the same actors, though, just in different roles.
Yeah. Well, it's cool, too, because, like in some of the other Godzilla movies, you get, like, some characters that'll show up, but they're not, like, predominant throughout the majority of it. They just kind of, like, show up when they need to be useful. Or they'll make appearances. Well, this one, like, a lot of the characters pretty much stuck with you throughout the entirety of it. Like, they each had, like, their own little central plot that they had to, like, pretty much finish. Or they just kind of, like, kept having a reason to be around.
I'm actually looking forward to New Toho's movie now.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited about it.
I want to see what they bring to the table.
Hopefully something good. But this movie is awesome. You guys need to go check it out. And let us know in the comment section below what you guys thought of this film. Help us defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button. Subscribe to become a ranger today. And we'll see you guys in the next video.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.